Okay, so there have been quite a lot of developments in the Izzet Belcher deck, and I am here to cover them for you guys. So this is what I've been seeing a lot of floating around for the historic list for this deck. And for anyone that needs a refresher on what the Belcher deck is, it is a deck that tries to get a Goblin Char Belcher into play as soon as possible with the required 3 mana to immediately activate it and kill your opponent. Goblin Charbelcher basically exiles until you hit a land card, and then it deals that much damage to any target unless you found a mountain, in which case it does double. So this is a deck that plays a bunch of spell lands, so things that have a land stapled to the back, so they're not actually considered a land until you play their backside. The rules text for this is that any card in your deck is considered what the face up side of it is. So the face up side of Song Mad Treachery, for example, is a sorcery. So when you're looking through your library, it's considered a sorcery. So basically, this deck is trying to activate Charbelcher as soon as possible. So we need to do two things in order to win the game here. One is to find and cast our Charbelcher, and two is to have enough mana to activate it. So in terms of finding it, we can just draw it naturally. We have things like Indomitable Creativity that allows you to sacrifice something like a treasure token or a creature if you're playing a build that creates creatures. The old build that I played did create creatures, but this one is only creating artifacts, as in the treasure tokens, and we'll be sacrificing those to find our Belcher. So Indomitable Creativity is one of the ways that we can find it. And then we can also try to draw into it with March of Reckless Joy. This is one of the few card draw spells that we're running in this deck, with the other notable exception being Valakut Awakening, though generally we want to play this as a land. March of Reckless Joy is pretty good because we can just sack the rest of our hands, or sorry, we can get rid of the rest of our hand and then have it basically ready for us, or we can basically exile the entirety of our hand and then hopefully find the combo pieces and kill our opponent on the following turn. It kind of telegraphs what we're going to do, but being able to find what we need to do so far away is pretty solid in this deck. Something that you'd run into with the previous builds was if you ran out of cards or your first Charbelcher was stopped, you didn't really have too much to get going with. And so now, in case you get stopped and you run into another March, then you might just be able to put all your mana into it and set up a turn for the following turn. Or set up a win for the following turn, rather. Okay, so that is one way that we're going to be finding the cards, and the other thing that we need to do is get the mana to cast them. Oh, sorry, there's also Reckless Handling. I forgot about this. This can just find our Charbelcher straight up in case we don't need it, or in case we don't have it. So we essentially have 8 copies of Charbelcher in here, which is pretty good. It is worth noting that Reckless Handling makes us need to discard something at random, so we may just lose our Charbelcher, but, that's generally a risk that we're going to be willing to take in this deck. And then let's go ahead and take a look at how we're getting our things into play. We need to generate a total of 7 mana, so that can either be done from all of our spell lands. We're running 4 Sea Gates and 4 Shatterskull Smashings as our only untapped lands, so 8 untapped lands, the rest are tapped. And generally we need to get to 7 of those. However, if we can find and play an Ironcrag Feat, then we can generate the requisite 7 mana in one spell for 4 mana. So the play pattern looks like Ironcrag Feat, play Charbelcher, activate Charbelcher for the remaining 3 mana. It's not casting a new spell, so you can just do that. One thing that's also very worth noting is that Indomitable Creativity is also a 4 mana find Charbelcher effect, because if X equals 1 and we just target one of our treasures, for 4 mana we get a Charbelcher. Same sort of deal with Reckless Handling. Oh, well, actually, the Indomitable Creativity line gives you the Belcher onto the field. Reckless Handling is a bit less efficient, however, it's still aligned to a Charbelcher. So if you have, I think it's 5 mana, you can play Ironcrag Feat, float 7 plus the 1 left over. You can get Reckless Handling, go find... Okay, sorry, you have to do this first. So you need a total of 6 mana. Reckless Handling, find your Belcher, cast Ironcrag Feat, cast your Belcher, activate Belcher. There we go. So that one requires 6 mana. But it's yet another way that we can find our Belcher. Then let's see, what else can we do? We can strike it rich in the early game, and we can Pact of Negation to get our combo through, and then we're also a Zerta deck, which is basically discounting our Charbelcher activation in case we need to do something like that. So this can make our Reckless Handling play a little bit better sometimes, if we're just finding Charbelcher and then trying to activate it. So That's mostly it. I mean, the other cards that we haven't really covered so far are mainly just our lands. There's Spikefield, Hazard, Seagate, Songmad, Valakut, Kazul's Fury, Reckless Handling, Shatter, Skull, Smashing. And then we also have Magma Opus. This is something that generally we are discarding to make our treasure token on turn 2, since we don't have many turn 2 plays in this deck. And then the final thing is Strangle, which is a bolt to a creature or planeswalker. And if we don't use it for that, then it is something we can just exile to March of Reckless Joy. Same goes for Zerta, which is pretty cool as well. So that is the update on Izzet Belcher. I'm just hopping in here after net decking the most recent version, and hopefully we can see how much better it is than the previous iteration. Let's hop into a game here and see how well we can do with Izzet Belcher. Let's go. Okay, we got a round 1 here. This hand's only got 2 lands, so this is pretty tough. We also don't have our Ironcrag feat, so this does not feel like that good of a hand to me. I'm thinking that I'll just mull this one, and we'll look for something better. This one has a Belcher, so I'm inclined to take it. However, it only has 2 lands, and that is actually pretty difficult. Plus, Reckless Handling doesn't really do anything here. I'm going to mull one more time, go to 5. And this is a little better. We have Marches and 3 lands, so I'll get rid of the Indomitable and a March, and then we'll just be looking to get to 4 mana as fast as possible. As of now, this is just going to be a pass the turn win. Opponent has black mana, so I don't think they're going to be able to deal with an artifact right now. We'll just have to worry about if we're going to die or not. And so this looks like some Aristocrats kind of build. We can march with Indomitable Creativity. And we have, yeah, so on turn 3, we can hold up mana. Okay, Alter Dementia, so this may be some sort of... So if they get 2 persist creatures out, then they go infinite. So they can theoretically do this next turn. Let's see, so let's do Valakut. And then I can Strike It Rich plus hold up March, or I can try to just go for the win next turn potentially, or I can set it up potentially with March. I think that's more valuable. So I'll be using these 2 cards, which will be 4. Oh, well, I can do 5 since I'm now not casting Strike It Rich. 5, 1, 2. Alright, cool. There we go. Alright. So if we find an Ironcrag feat in the top, we are looking good. Okay, we didn't find it, but we did find a Pact of Negation, which is nice. That means we now can interact with their combo, if they get it. So they may sack to Phyrexian Tower. Okay, so they're just setting up. I was going to say if they sacked to Phyrexian Tower to make their 4th mana, they could just drop 2 persist creatures and I die. I feel like I don't need to Pact of Negation here. I'll just save it for removal on my Belcher. And yeah, we're looking pretty solid here. Reveals their hand. So now this is an issue. I actually have to let them take Charbelcher. Okay, that's fine. Because if I cast Pact of Negation, I would die. Okay, so then we'll just take our 4th mana here. I can pay 3 life, since I am not anywhere near dead yet. Now I have Reckless Handling and a 50-50 chance that I keep it. Belcher. Let's go. We got the Belcher. And then we'll go ahead and end turn here, lose our hand. And let's see if they have a second Thoughtseize. Okay, they're looking for it. If they do find it here, they can cast. They can still look once more trying to find a Thoughtseize. Any discard spell does it. Alright, so they're thinking, do they have a play here? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we don't mind this. So we got a Belcher. And now, if they let us untap, we have lethal. Looks like they may have something for it. It's not a creature. Generally, black cannot make you sacrifice artifacts. The red component of that is usually what has the removal. I'm feeling relatively safe here, unless we just get comboed out. I mean, they're still sitting on top of the... Oh, I didn't realize this, but they sacrificed their Altar of Dementia, so they don't have their combo online anymore. I assume this is a persist combo. They're thinking about a way out, I think. They may not have it. We just have to hold on and see if it's going to be us or them. Okay, so they take their Luris, which does not indicate confidence to me. Archfiend's Vessel, you got it, and then... Is that it? Sweet. So we will just go ahead and, in response to that, Belcher them. Sweet. And we've got it there. So we were able to fight through a Thoughtseize there and find our second Charbelcher to win the game. So there we go. That was a pretty good showing of what you can do with Reckless Handling. This kind of saved us here. So very good include from the new set. I'm liking it. That was round 1. Let's move on to a round 2. Alright, round 2. Well, if this didn't just have one land, I'd be much happier with it. This is way better. Sweet. So I will go with the acceleration here instead of the march. We can win on turn 4 as it stands. I think at this point in the game, even showing Spike Field Hazard is indicative of Belcher combo. No, sorry, we can only combo in turn 5 because we need to use the treasure for a target. Yeah, so no use in doing anything this turn. Opponent may be holding up some sort of counter magic, so I'm going to wait till they tap out for something. Invasion of Dominaria, okay. Good thing it's not the one that Thoughtseizes me. And we do have to play this once more. And I could Reckless Handling for a Belcher, and then just hope I don't discard Ironcrag Feet. I think it's just smarter if I don't do that. And then here I'll just strike it rich once. Could have even taken Zerta into hand for a possible March type of play. So we see 4 color out of our opponent. And they just foretold something, which means that we just need to go for it here. I'm going to go ahead and Ironcrag Feet. Make our 7 mana. For 1, we're going to target this. And here we will grab our Belcher. And we're going to have Belcher target our opponent for lethal. Cool. Opponent sees it. And they're done. That was round 2. Very quick. Let's move on to round 3. So some people call for the banning of Izzet Charbelcher because it's too strong, too consistent, something like that. I'm not sure if I totally agree with that because I definitely see the situations in where this thing can be silver bulleted very hard, and I'm talking mainly about Karn. Karn and any sort of artifact-based removal, like if you're just playing red at all, even like Karn can slot into any deck. Like any deck with a Karn board can very easily just completely kill this strategy. I mean, it's got Reckless Handling in here now to deal with Karns. I mean, sorry, Strangle to deal with Karns, but still, it's just, I think there are correct responses for this deck that not everyone is playing. So with that being said, we have 3 mana. We potentially have a turn 4 with our untapped land here. I am going to try keeping this one, and then we'll just try to use a big March of Reckless Joy to win the game. They Land of the Void, that's okay. We just have to lay our cards out on the table, show them a spell land, and ley line of the void. What am I expecting to see here? So we're gonna lose something out of this. They can take one of our lands, which is actually the smart thing to do here. If I'm them, I probably do that. They may take March or Reckless Handling. Oh, they take the handling. They don't want me to get my Belcher. Unluckily for them, I do have the creativity. We just need to get these things out of the hand. Okay, that's a second creativity. And now we have smashing next turn. We can even march if we'd like. I'm wondering if I want to make a big march play right now. I don't think so. They're holding up mana. I would only do this if it were for a tapped out opponent. So now we have Pact. That's pretty solid. Pact can... Okay, so let's see. What are the lines here? I can go for a creativity now and set up the following turn. I'll have Pact of Negation backup, but if they have 2 things of removal for an artifact, or 2 counter spells even, then I'm in trouble. Am I worried that they'd be able to remove a Belcher after it resolves is the question. I don't really think so. In blue-black? Not really. So the other issue here is I actually don't have a thing to destroy for Indomitable Creativity, so this actually is not going to be able to do anything for me. Okay, so if that's the case, then I have Zerda put in hand, and then I have a big March of Reckless Joy for the next turn. So yeah, we do need to find a thing to do here. Well, that kind of hurts. I guess I'll just discard Zerda. That goes into exile. And yeah, so let's go ahead and try this March play. We're going to pay 4. Exiling Strangle and Creativity. And let's see what we hit here. We need to hit big. We do get the Ironcrag feat. We need an untapped land. Oh man, that's just not enough. I have a tapped land. That's unfortunate. So I can make this now. Yeah, I unfortunately can't creativity now. It's sad that I got the Ironcrag feat so soon. Yeah. Let's make a token. And then we have creativity for the following turn. Okay, so this one's fallen apart a little bit, but we might be able to get back here. Reveals their hand. I have to let this resolve. They're going to get my Indomitable Creativity. Okay, so let's see. How many things is this gone? This is 1, 2, 3 creativities. So I'll have to find it through a different way. Oh, I just found a Charbelcher. Okay. Then we can just put that land in. And yeah, our opponent doesn't have instant speed removal. Plus they see we have a Pact of Negation. Well, we kind of just fell backwards into that win, but I guess we'll take that. That was our round 3. Let's move on to our round 4. Alright, we have our round 4 here. Double Pact doesn't really do too much for me. We do have Striker Rich to get to 3 mana, but we need more than this. This is a little better. We can get rid of the Pact, I think, or the Strangle. I want to say that... Well, we still need to be able to create a treasure, which is kind of a problem. We have 8 ways to do so in the deck between our Striker Riches and discarding our Magma Opus. This is a little better. I'm going to give it a try. The question is, do I keep Strangle for creature removal or Pact of Negation for counterspell interaction? What am I thinking my opponent is playing? They got Basic Cleaves and a Jin Gitaxis. I think that let's drop off the Pact. Strangle will be useful for more turns. And generally people play more creatures. Alright, so that was the correct move. We do have combo on turn 4. So let's just try to get there. We can strangle at any point. I think I will probably try to kill a Voice of the Blessed, definitely. So that will die this turn. I almost want to get rid of the Soul Warden, but I think I'm going to choose to not do that this turn. So we're going to kill this. That thing will deal too much damage to me over time. They might just have another one. It's almost unavoidable. Okay, luckily Soul Warden is fine. Triple Soul Warden. Okay, we're going to really have to try to finish out here before our opponent can do something. Wow, we just drew another Pact. That's sweet. We'll just go ahead and make this treasure now. And we got them next turn, unless they can fix it. Karn. Okay, so what can I do about a Karn? If they -3 and get something, I have actually no recourse for that. And then if I were to Pact now, I would just die. So, alright, well, we're going to see what happens when we get blocked. And this is a very timely example of the conversation I was talking about last game, which was that there do exist silver bullets for this deck. And Karn is the biggest one of those. So this is Book of His Exalted Deeds combo. Okay. So, for 4 mana, I get Iron Crag. I'll probably just have to take Zerda into hand this turn. And then exile it to March. I'm going to not want to use this treasure for mana. And actually I can't because of Karn. Book of Exalted Deeds. They are missing an angel. They go to -2. They could find a Platinum Angel. Liquid Metal Coating. Okay, so it is Liquid Metal Coating. We're going to lose our lands next turn. Can't really do much about this. I think we might be in trouble. So, I need to find a Strangle to kill Karn. And then I need to... Oh, wow, we just drew it off the top. That is amazing. So... I gotta count here. I'm still 1 off, though, is the problem. Well, we can at least kill Karn. That means that we don't lose the game to Liquid Metal Coating. Now, we have Zerda as a blocker, or we can use it with March of Reckless Joy. I'll play it as a creature. This actually does make it even better. If I draw a Belcher, I can, like, hold something up. They get some life. 27 is the scary life total for these kind of decks, but they don't have anything to pay off. So I'm feeling pretty good from this point. Are they mutavolting? Ah, I see what they're doing. This is a complete problem for me. Oh, we're gonna get comboed. That sucks. Yeah, so now we don't have a way to destroy them. Righteous did they not have... Why didn't they activate Book of Exalted Deeds? I don't get it. Okay. That's fine. I don't get it. We go to 30. Wow, they just committed to the board instead of activating the book on Mutavault. I'm so surprised that they chose to play that way. Because now this is going to be the end for them. I won't block this. I'll go to 9. Incredible. I will let you gain your creature. They go to... Oh, this actually might... This is going to be close. I actually don't know if I have enough to kill them. Let's just send it anyway. 48, I think we're just going to get it. Yeah, we're going to go to 47 cards in library. Wow. X equals 1. Target the treasure. Auto pay. Get our Belcher, and they're going to be at like -2. So close. We just barely lucked out here. Oh, -3. Okay. Wow. Well, that was close, and our opponent absolutely had the game there and just kind of threw it to us. if you have not seen this combo before, Book of Exalted Deeds for 3 white mana, and exiling this permanent allows you to put a counter onto an angel, and then basically that allows you to not lose the game your opponents can't win. And so the combo is, instead of putting it on like a Righteous Valkyrie, you put it on a Mutavault, because unless your opponents can't deal with lands, as long as you don't activate this ever again, they'll have to destroy a land if they want to remove that clause from your side of the board. So, we kind of got handed that one, but a win's a win. That was our round 4. We got one more to go. Let's play round 5. Here it is. Okay, we got a round 5 here. Triple Iron Crag feat. I'd love to take that, but I can't. This has an Iron Crag feat, and it has a Reckless Handling. I think this is fine. Do I care about the lands or the acceleration with Magma Opus is the question. I think I will just go ahead and discard the Opus. Make sure that I have lands, and I mean, if they Thoughtseize one of them, then it's also a pretty good idea to have a backup. Alright, we're off to the races. Second Iron Crag. That means Reckless Handling is fine to take one of those. Mesmeric Orb, that's not scary for the most part. Don't mill a Belcher. Okay, I'll take a Pact, that's okay. Play this as a land, and then we're going to Reckless Handling. Get a Belcher. Cool. Okay, well, less cool that we discarded our land. I can march for 2. Ashiok. Well, I'm glad I just searched my library. We lost 1 Belcher. Resolves. It's fine. We lost our second Belcher. It's a very good thing that we have one here. And, oh, nice. So we can go ahead and pay through life here. We can Iron Crag. Nice. Got our Belcher. And I think we got him. That is 40 damage to the face, and our opponent's dead. Alright, so we were just able to squeak it out there against the mill deck. Nice. Feels good. So that was our round 5. That's the final round, and that means we are done with Izzet Belcher. I hope you guys enjoyed this update on the Izzet Belcher deck. I think my final thoughts on this deck are that it is quite a bit different and very much improved over the previous version that you've seen me play on this deck, or on this channel rather. I really liked a lot of the card drawing abilities that this deck has. March of Reckless Joy seems to actually be very, very good in this deck. If you get stuck and you just need to draw into something to get yourself back into the game, this is a really, really good card to draw. Also, where is it? Also, Reckless Handling is pretty cool as well, just because it's another 4 copies of your Belcher for most cases. And then, when I initially built my version of this deck, I wasn't that big on Pact of Negation, but I'm realizing now that when you play any sort of deck that has counter magic, you need to they're going to have 1 piece of counter magic. It's less certain if they'll have 2. So having a Pact of Negation to get through the first one is pretty good. And then, of course, if you're in a Belcher deck, you can always activate your Belcher in response to the Pact of Negation trigger in order to not lose the game. So, all in all, I think this is a very, very good rebuild of the deck. Props to all of the people that have been working on it. And, yeah, that's all from me on this update of Izzet Belcher. A quick reminder that if you liked the video and want to see more from this channel, we are always trying to build, so if you can drop a like, drop a subscribe, those help me so very much. Anyways, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.